Hi, friends. Welcome back to Handy at the Shandy, episode 20. This is the first hour in which we're doing more trip report action. We're going to talk to Table Games James with occasional input from Adam the Fraud, and we're going to hear about the second half of James's trip report that took place after Adam and I left Vegas.
Took a real downward turn is basically what happened.
So downward.
If you're listening to this, you're part of a select few group of people that listens to both hour one and hour two. We've got about 10% more listens to every hour two than we do hour one. I don't know if that's just some people just listen to what the most recent episode is.
Oh, that's what happens.
So I was thinking what we could try to do is come up with like a cool inside joke that only people who've heard this episode will get. And then in hour two, when we do the callback, 10% of people they're gonna be so confused.
Yeah, like a catchphrase or something, a word sneak.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Like
let's work on that over the next
in.
59 minutes.
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal?
Shaquille O'Neal, yeah.
Okay, interesting. But as always, we have a lot to cover. So let's get started with James.
So sulking, we know that because Jack and I left. But after you were done sulking, what did you do?
I'm currently walking to the airport. What are you doing?
Yeah, and for those of you who might have stumbled upon this right now and are like, what are they talking about? My 40th birthday bash happened in Vegas a few weeks ago. And our last episode, episode 19, we talked about the first half of that trip where Adam and Jack joined me. And we're picking up now on Monday, March 16th. And I'm glad I took notes like 2 weeks ago, since we're recording this so far afterwards. When you left us last, I had left to go to M Resort. And that's what I did that Sunday night. And I didn't gamble at M Resort that Sunday night. I just went to bed and woke up the next morning and got to work. And you might think get to work means playing some video poker. Yeah. No, I actually did some work. Now, the room was amazing. They set me up with a suite. So it had the bedroom and main bathroom completely separate from like the living space and a kind of a little bar area and another powder room, which worked out perfectly because Kim and I were taking clients at the same time. So even though Kim had her own room, then that was like the plan of what it was going to be, was Kim was going to work in her room. We could just one person work in the bedroom, one person work in the living area. It was so great. I had a strip view, which means I could see the strip, which is 24 miles away.
Yeah.
And even worse, like...
Did it have a telescope?
A telescope, yeah.
The worst part about it is that, like, even if it is kind of a decent view, seeing that stuff off in the distance, it does not come through on, like, your camera phone or whatever.
No, not at all.
It's like
not at all.
Trying to take a picture of the moon.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't take a lot of pictures because I just like to live in the moment. Starting at 7 a.m. was my first meeting because, we live on the East Coast and this is the week back from spring break for our students that we work with. So we were just back on our normal schedule. So I was up like 5:30 or 6 each day for those first few days working, which was great, except for the fact that I wasn't playing video poker. So on my lunch break, all 3 days that I was at M Resort, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I had a lunch break of an hour to 2 hours. I went down to the bar and I played video poker and ate my lunch every day. And that was so amazing that
Can you eat lunch while playing video poker there?
Oh, yes, absolutely. They have a sports book bar. And so you're at the sports book and they have a full menu. I ordered a chicken quesadilla. I had a Diet Coke.
You're just greasing up the old machine.
Oh, I greased it up so much.
That's what I worry about too. Like Charlie's at Wynn, you can do that too. But I've never done it.
Listen, I washed my hands before and after, but during, man, I mean, I'm lucky I'm still alive. That's all I'm saying.
Any misclicks, like you just slipped because of the grease? And...
No. And really what I was doing is I slowed down my play, which I know you won't believe me.
You're just pressing it with the quesadilla on the buttons.
The quesadilla. That's exactly what I was doing. The really cool thing, which, we just found out maybe like a week or two before our trip, was that Kim's mom was able to come out and hang out because they live in Southern California. So her mom drove out and stayed with us for 2 nights. So it was good that we had that second room. So she came to visit, and that night we did dinner at Jade 16, which is on the top floor. And you guessed it, the 16th floor of the resort. It was really good. It was nothing.
Is it like
great.
A Chinese restaurant?
Yeah, an Asian restaurant. There was some sushi. There was I forget what else I had. This was like
other Asian food.
Other Asian food.
Mm-hmm. All of the Asian food you can imagine.
Anything you could think of in your head. It was there. with a great view from the top floor. But this is the funny story from this first day, because gambling was nothing. I'm not even going to talk much more about it other than I lost $1,400. We'll talk about where that puts me. But the main story from this first day is we were in Vegas, as you all know, for 12 days. We did not bring enough clothing for 12 days. I don't have 12 pairs of underwear. Who does? Probably a lot of people, but I don't. At least not ones that I want to wear. Okay. And so what I ended up doing, or what Kim and I ended up doing, was bringing enough for like half the trip. And then the plan was to do laundry and then have that for the second half of the trip, which I think is fairly normal. And I was like, you know what? We'll just rent a car or we'll take an Uber or something to a laundromat, get the stuff done. It's fine. Kim's like, no. I'll find a different way. So there's this random company. It's called Pop-In, basically Uber for laundry. Okay. She signs up. She does the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. She's like, it's going to be $40 and they're going to take it and they're going to bring it back, you know? And I'm like, I don't care. I mean, I'm sure some people are weird.
Suspiciously low cost.
So I'm sure some people are a little weirded out. Just some random person's going to take all of your clothing and then bring it back. But Kim's like, I'm taking care of it. I got it under control. You put all your clothes in a garbage bag. You bring it down to the bell desk. Yes, I swear to God.
Just throw it in the donation bin.
Bagged it. Right. You bring it down to the bell desk. You tell them, hey, this is my name. This is the person who's picking it up. It's from this company Pop-In. And then you just pick it up the next day. Well, everything's working well until Kim gets a call that night that says, hey, I'm here to get your laundry. It's not there. Kim goes down to meet them. Sure enough, our laundry is not there. The person who's supposed to pick it up and do it is there. What happened was there was another Pop-In order. I don't know if I'll do quotations with my fingers of an order. I don't know what they would call it. That they gave our clothing and the other family's clothing to the first person.
Yeah. Well, that's not the worst.
Well, I mean, it's not the worst.
You're mixing undies, though.
Except for we have no clue who the other person is. Right. We have no clue where our clothes are. The online help is just all AI, which is what you would kind of expect from this kind of probably VC-backed newer company. So we can't get through to anybody. Kim's on the phone trying to call, can't get through anything. So then what I do is I become a little bit of a Karen, which I've done in the past before. I go to LinkedIn.
You just chewed the AI out. You're like, well,
at one point, robot. You clanker.
Kim was doing that. And I'm like, just don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. And
I'll find someone really real to yell at.
I'll find a real person to yell at. So what did I do? I went to LinkedIn. I searched for the company. I found like founder, CEO, director of product, all these people. And I just messaged all of them. And I'll give them credit within like 5 minutes.
Bell desk like screw this up?
Yeah, like for sure. Right. But like,
I feel like the garbage bag thing is also like a red flag. Like it should not be a garbage bag. We need something more formal here.
Well, Jack, I know that the bell desk messed it up, but like the bell desk doesn't know where it is. These people ideally would have. I'm trying to find my fucking clothes is what I'm trying to find at this point. Because at this point, it's not that we have dirty clothes. It's that I don't know where our clothes are.
Right.
And so on them, they did get back to me right away. Like their director of product and their founder, both of them like messaged me within a half hour, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry this is happening. Let me see what I can do. And within an hour, they had like a picture of our clothes. Like, are these the ones you're looking for? I'm like, yes. And they're like, okay, we've been in contact with the person who grabbed your clothing. So like, we're so sorry. At this point, it's like 9 p.m. They're like, we'll make sure everything's taken care of in the morning. So our clothes show back up in the morning, which is great. However, not clean.
Oh God.
And so,
well, I know a service you could use.
Right, exactly. And so I just reached out to them like, hey, like, this is wonderful that you gotten back to me, but like you couldn't have told the person to just do the laundry. Like we would have paid for it. So luckily though, as I said, Kim's mom had come out to visit us, and Kim's mom plan for that day on Tuesday was to go to the spa and relax. And instead, as a 40-year-old man, actually I was still 39 at that point, I had my mother-in-law do my laundry for me that day.
Oh, she's such a saint.
Embarrassing.
She's a saint. Julie is a saint. And she'll never listen to this podcast, but maybe if someday she does, she'll know that I said thank you. You know, that was the Monday night. Like I said, I played for a few hours, did not do well. Between lunch and that night, I had lost $1,400. And, you know, I was up pretty good going into the second half of the trip. And I'm just sitting there being like, I know it's going to happen. I'm going to lose $2,000 every day. And I'm going to be down on this trip. Like, that's just how it's going to have to go. Nobody gambles in Vegas for 11 and a half days and comes out ahead. So I'm like, I'm just going to have to lose it all. I'm not joking. Going into Tuesday, that was my head. My headspace was like, I'm going to lose this all, and that's okay because I planned on it.
I like that the most exciting part of your day was that your dirty laundry took a little vacation and came back to you.
It took a vacay. It did.
Mm-hmm. So did she drive? We're going back to the laundry here. Did she drive it over to a laundromat the way you had planned?
Yep.
So she should get in touch with the boys over at Poppin'.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She should. So Tuesday, shocker, during the day, I work during the day again. Kim and I work during the day, which is fine, whatever. Went to lunch again, but I won this time at lunch because I got dealt 4 threes playing double bonus quarters. Didn't have a lot of multipliers, but I still won $700. And nice. I had 4 to the Royal with a 12x. That was exciting.
Live hand.
Did not hit. Very live hand.
What were you eating for lunch?
I had, I'll let you take one guess.
Mozzarella sticks.
Nope.
A quesadilla again.
A chicken quesadilla because it was really good the first day.
Yeah. You are in your 30s at this point.
Spoiler
Mom's
alert.
Doing laundry, having quesadillas 2 days in a row.
Spoiler alert. I go to the same bar on Wednesday for lunch, but I won't tell you what I had
yet. Usual?
Yeah. Well, this is like made me, I've always thrown around the idea of like, man, it'd be awesome if I like lived in Vegas. I would just spend every lunch somewhere playing video poker. It would not be good.
When you said before you're not a foodie, like now it's really starting to set in for me. Okay.
Yeah. But that night did have some better food because a friend of the pod, Dan, shows up because he is going to hang out with us. He's in Vegas. He's going to hang out. We're going to have some good dinner. Let's see. I remember during that time while he was there, we played a little bit of Bartop. So at M Resort, these 3 days I was at M Resort, I was going between playing my 2 favorite games right now, which is Ultimate X, double bonus, as long as it's 9-5. I was playing it at quarters, so $7.50 a press, and then a $1 3-line 9-6 double bonus, so $15 a press. And like those can both kind of swing both ways. And I was down a quick $1,000 when friend of the pod Dan gets there, but then I hit, I think it was 4 4s with the kicker or something.
And which way were you swinging at that point?
I was swinging all the way to the left down. Right, I was hanging to the left about $1,000, and then I made it all back. So going into dinner, I was even, which was awesome. We had dinner at Anthony's, which is their steakhouse. This would have been one of the 3 steakhouses I would have in 4 days. And since I had the filet when we were at Bavette's together, and I knew I was probably going to have that or something, similar when I was at SW the following night, I decided to have their prime rib. That was like their kind of main specialty. And it was huge. I don't remember the actual, but like it came, I was like, there's no way I'm going to eat half of this. And it was fantastic. This is the second time I've had dinner at Anthony's there at M Resort, and it was good. And I put all 4 of our meals on the tab, and then Dan picked up the tip. And at the end of the trip, I got this dinner comped. I didn't get some other stuff comped, but he was like, "Oh, I'll take away the Anthony's dinner for you." So which is pretty good.
Boom.
Yeah.
After dinner, we went to one of the bars, and I was down a little bit playing Ultimate X, and I was like, you know what, I'm not having as fun with this Ultimate X. I'm not getting any good bonuses. And so, why not just go to 3-line dollars? And I got dealt 4 aces.
Wow.
Not with the kicker, but so it's a guaranteed minimum 2,400. So I'm like, this is great. I click the button, second line, get a kicker for 2,000. So $3,600. And I'm just like, yes.
And the whole place went nuts.
Yes. Now he's swinging the other way.
I was definitely like, when I got dealt, I was like, oh, nice. And then I'm like, come on, give me a kicker, because now I'm getting greedy. Right now I'm real greedy.
Well, why didn't you get dealt it with the kicker?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Kinda,
it would have been way more.
Yep. And which, ended up being, after that night, I was up $3,800 that night after all of that, because I was about even going into dinner, one a little bit after. So another like really good evening, like really good day in Vegas, putting me, I think at this point, it's putting me like up 10 to 11, like $1,000 on the entire trip, which is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous for being that long.
So 2 days at M Resort, what is it like there? Because I've never stayed there or even been there for a long period of time. Like, is it good flow, good design? It's been a while for me.
It's fine. It feels like a locals casino. It's darker than what I like in a casino. I like casinos to be a little more bright. It seems pretty dark at all hours. It was pretty dead while we were there. Now, we're there on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so it wasn't like a surprise to me that it was dead. I didn't play any table games at all. I only played video poker and, maybe a couple $100 through slots. I don't mind the way that it's set up. They have 4 different video poker bars to choose from.
I like that.
So that's pretty great. We usually played at 2 of them. There's a center bar, and then there's the sports book where you can order food. So it's basically bouncing between those 2. The room was really nice. It was comfortable. Everyone was nice. It was fine. I'll compare this to Rampart, which is where I stay at the weekend. And I'll kind of like give some of the differences between the 2. Mm-hmm. For me, the best part about M Resort is it's part of the Penn Play system, and that's what my local is. So I have a lot of status with them. I don't think I'll be going back unless it's like an amazing offer to go back, because I have Rampart is still the better off-strip casino for me, at least.
Okay.
Which brings us to the day that I turn 40. I join Adam in the group.
That's right.
Of being a man. 40.
I'm a man.
40.
I'm a man. Yeah. Shocker. Worked during the day and took my lunch down at the video poker bar.
They make you work on your birthday at Tyranny Education.
I can't believe it. They
like
do.
That.
Awful.
Yeah. I'm gonna find him on LinkedIn.
You should
message him.
You can go to my Google and give me a 1-star review, like a bunch of people do when they say my services are expensive. So that'd be great. I changed it up a little bit. I've never played this before, but I was getting bored. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm like, man, I've been playing the same game for like 7 days. Like
it's so easy.
It's just so easy.
You just keep winning.
I changed it up. I did 5-line, 50-cent double bonus. I don't know. Have either of you bumped up to 5-line, and how do you feel about that?
I mean, I've played 5-line in my life, certainly, especially if I'm playing like nickels or dimes. To just like, I've tried it at games where there's like intermittent features, and I just want to get the feature more often to get a feel for what the game's like. You just play, I can play more lines or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple things that bug me about 5 lines. I think one is that 5 is too many. Like,
I'm like a cat following a laser pointer. Like my face is turning all over.
To be honest, I used to be a 2-line player back when the machines would kind of let you play max bet at 2 lines.
I've never seen a 2-line game. I'm so excited.
Well, it would be 3. It was a 3-line game, but you could hit the select lines button independent of the bet per line button. The newer curve top machines don't do that. If you try to bet up on a low number of lines, it'll instantly turn it to 3 lines, and then it'll start betting up. Anyways, that's interesting to everyone. I used to play a lot of 2-line because I was like, it is a large increase over 1 line. You're doubling
100% if you can do the math.
And then every other increase after that is just kind of, I don't know, it's marginal at best. And so 3 lines for me is just like a really happy medium. It's more than 1, and it is the smallest number you're allowed to play that's more than 1. So for me, that's fine. The other thing is just kind of aesthetically on a 5-line game, the cards start to get compressed. Each hand of cards, you kind of see the way you would see your hand when you hold like a bridge hand where they're overlapping over each other. You don't get to see the full art on each of them. And I think one of the things that's really good about that aesthetic from the late 80s of video poker cards that we still play with is just kind of the way the like aces, kings, queens, the way the cards look, and not being able to see that is a bummer for me. So that's my take on numbers of lines.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about Adam wants to create the 1,000 or the 10,000 hand.
It's in the work. Yeah.
It's in the works. Yeah, that patent's coming through.
I'm talking to IGT right now. They're not responding to my LinkedIn messages, but we'll get there.
Oh, I'll do it. I got the the professional version of LinkedIn.
I think it's just their chatbot, and it's been a long.
Stop talking about my host like that.
That's right.
I think
it's reason by the way, James needs a reservation.
Exactly. I don't like 5-line because, like Adam was saying, my eyes, you can't like focus on one area, right? Like if you get dealt 3 aces on 3-line, then you can like kind of just like focus on the first line and be like, come on, let me see it here. When it's 5-line, you're like your eyes are darting to each one. So
I've gotten a bit better at that watching Vegas Matt, who plays like exclusively 10-line Ultimate X. So like I've honed my skills as a video poker observer. I think I could ref in the video poker championships. Probably I'm a bit old to play, but I could probably referee.
Yeah, you could probably ref. The one thing I will say is that I think in my brain, I was like 50 senses gets me $1,000 if I hit 4 aces with a kicker. I'm going to do that during this lunch. I did not, but that's what my brain was. That's why I went to 50 senses. And so after lunch, it was time for us to take what.
Oh, what did you have for lunch on Wednesday?
I had a turkey club and fries.
Oh, bummer.
But he had him put him in a tortilla.
Tortilla for sure.
Just for comfort.
Yeah. I will say one thing about M Resort is because it's a locals casino, they always have these stupid little giveaways. And when I was there for Zork Fest, I got 2 of these hand massage guns.
Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah. This time they were giving away gifts again, and they were also massagers. They weren't the handgun, but you wrap it around your back. And I was like, of course I'm going to grab 2 of them. And they're going to go in the white elephant gift next year. We already have it planned out. So got those gifts. I went, and then I took what I'm guessing is the most popular Uber ride, which is from M Resort to Wynn. Only behind the popularity of the one I take the next day from Wynn to Rampart.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's not like a Vegas loop stop or something.
It should be. Mm-hmm. And this is on my birthday. And the last probably half dozen times I've stayed at Wynn, I haven't cared about, do I have a nicer room? Do I get an upgrade? All I cared about was getting in early. And so I would check in the day before. I would say I was getting in at 8 a.m. And every single time when I've done that on the app, I have by 9 or 10 a.m., they're like, your room's ready, Mr. Tierney. And of course, it's on the negative 40th floor or something, and there's no view. But at least I'm in one of the best rooms in Vegas, and I don't really care. But I'm like, you know what? It is on my 40th birthday. It's already a comped room. I'm just going to show up at 2 p.m. when check-in's at 4, and they're going to do something for me. At the very least, the thing they will do for me is say, oh, yes, we have a room ready for you on a Wednesday. I think my plan is perfect because it's not going to be any worse than if I would have checked in the day before. Well, it was. There's no one in the check-in line. I go up. Thank you, Mr. Tierney. I was like, oh, here's stuff. We're here for my 40th birthday. He's like, oh, happy birthday. Let's see what we got for you. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. He's like, well, your room's not ready. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, but you could upgrade to a sphere view for $200 a night.
Gee, what?
And I'm
you ever tried to have trouble sleeping for extra money?
And so I was like, no, we don't really need it. We don't spend much time. And I probably could have pushed more. I probably could have been like, can you do anything because it's my birthday? Maybe if I would have said that, I don't know. I felt like he already knew, but he was just like, oh, okay. Well,
my mother-in-law just did my laundry. What can you do for me?
What can you do for me?
He just transferred from the Cosmo Gold check-in to Wynn, so he's still learning the ropes of that.
Yeah. And then they were like, okay, here's your stuff back. We'll text you when your room's ready. And Kim and I I guess we'll go put our bags at the bell. I just couldn't believe it. I really thought that they would at the very least say, well, we can get you into a room that's ready right now. But yeah, we just checked the bags and went and played our free play. And I had a big $100.
But did you end up getting the room at a reasonable time between 4 and 5 or something like that? Or did it become a thing?
It was right at either 3 or 4. I forget when they were checking. It was as soon as that hit, I got the text on the phone. It looked like it scheduled it for. Yeah. It wasn't a big deal. It was just we talk all about Wynn is awesome and everything. And, I'm not expecting for them to go above and beyond, but it just was surprising to me. And maybe my expectation just going in was too high.
Considering I got in at 10:30 a.m., they let me check in and gave me an upgrade for free.
Right.
And it was not my birthday.
Yeah. So, which whatever. We had $100. I had $100 in slot play and Kim had 25. So we just played some hot pots. I think I actually won $100 in hot pots. And by won $100, I mean, I think I put in $100 of free play and I cashed out $100 on the ticket, which I consider a $100 win. Mm-hmm. Got into the room, beautiful as always. And I'm like, I'm going to just take a nap. It's been long. I don't have to work the rest of the night. So Kim and I start to unpack. I lay down on the bed and all of a sudden I get a text from Mark Duvall. Hey, James, happy birthday. Just got in. I'm at Palazzo. And so I could have taken a nap. But what I decided to do instead was just start walking over, and I walked over to Palazzo, which is what you got to do, right? You have to do that. One thing I did when I got there is I was like, wait, I'm up a good amount of money. And I still had $2,000 in markers from the week before when I stopped by with Colin for the cigar tent. So I just went up to the cage. I was like, hey, I have these 2 markers from last week. Can I just pay them off in cash here now? And they're like, absolutely. And so I paid those off, which a little bit of a foreshadowing, spoiler alert, I left Vegas with no markers. So it was, that's an amazing trip when you're there.
I'm surprised you didn't walk in and say, hey, I've got a couple markers outstanding. Can you give me the max you can give me right now?
That crossed my mind to be like, but I was also, this is going to sound so bad, I was also getting sick and tired of having like $13,000 in cash, having to cart from like one casino to the other,
Your wheelbarrow full of cash.
Exactly.
Poor baby.
And I had them all in ones, so like it was a lot. So
you got your Zimbabwe dollars in the
yeah. So I walk over to Palazzo. I hang out with Mark. Mark has actually not played at the high limit room, or hadn't played at the high limit bar. So we go in there, we start playing. And as you know, the lowest you can play is 50 cents 3-line. I don't know why I did that. I think it was because I'm only going to play here for a little while. And I didn't want to start by just like losing a bunch of money at Palazzo. And like, that's all I've been doing lately.
Yeah, you don't want to start day 9 of a 12-day trip, too fast. You got to ease into this trip.
So I played 3 lines at 50 cents. That's still a good amount. Anyways, I got dealt 4 4s with a kicker for $1,200.
Oh God.
Which was just like, man, I'm hitting a lot of good stuff. And Mark's like, you've been winning already, haven't you? And I was like, yeah, and now I'm winning again. So won $1,000 or
get used to it, Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Geez. Quesadillas on the house.
Quesadillas on the house. Speaking of food, that night, go to SW.
Ooh.
And
did you tell them you were a special birthday boy?
They knew it was my 40th birthday. So
because you told them.
I did. I'll give you some pros and cons, which you might be like, there's some cons at SW. This is the first time I've ever ran into this. First off, the food was just amazing, just outstanding. Like, yes, nothing wrong with that at all. Our reservation was at 6:00. And this is when I'd asked my host if she could call the restaurant and see if we could get out on the patio. And we get there at 6, and there is a line waiting to get to the hostess, and probably like 12 to 15 people deep. Like, I've never seen a big line like that. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. But maybe like 6:00 is just a main
bunch of people.
seating.
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday. I'm guessing it's conventions or whatever. It is Wynn. Yeah. So we get up there. That goes pretty fast. But then they say, okay, like, you're all checked in, Mr. Tierney. You can go on and wait in the bar area. But like, that's where they put everybody. So you're like kind of like, you're standing like shoulder to shoulder basically in this like little bar area. As soon as you walk into SW, some people are like trying to sit at the tables and it just didn't feel like that. Like at the vets, they have
we got
seats.
to sit at that. Yeah.
To sit. Yeah. You're just kind of like standing around, and I'm like, okay. And it took probably 15 to 20 minutes before we ended up getting to our table, because I think it was like 6:18 I looked when we finally got seated. They came to get us, and they start walking us into the restaurant, and I'm like, damn it. But then they took a nice right hand turn, so we did sit out on the patio near the lake, which was, so it was worth the wait. It was definitely worth the wait. The service though, and I think everyone's been in this situation before, where like at the beginning it was server, water, wine, another server, how are things going? Here's your bread. And it's just like everyone's coming at you, and you're like, yeah, this is what I expect. I expect all this. Then like no one comes to our table for like 10 minutes, and we're like, okay, and we're just like looking around, like, our waters are now done, and like we haven't gotten our drinks yet. And then finally they come back with like our bottle of wine, and they take our food order, and then it's like the person's pouring our wine every like 2 seconds. I'll take like one sip and someone's there. And then the bread comes, and it's like, oh, it's all fast again. We get our food. The guy checks on us once, and then we didn't see him for like a half hour. And like, it was just this such up and down of like over the top service, and then like nothing. And then we sat there and we waited for our check for like a good amount of time.
They should have given you one of those little handheld Olive Garden machines.
They should have given us a handheld Olive Garden machine. At least we got to see the show, which is cool. Like the frog comes up, has a cigarette, Lake of Dreams. That was fun. And then we waited, and finally the server comes up and says, Mr. Tierney, your dinner has been taken care of.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, do you know a Mr. Steve Smith? And I was like, oh, friend of the pod, Steve. I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, he's put his credit card down for you. So you're all good to go. And he included gratuity. So you're all set. And that's when I said, actually, we have more wine to order. No, I didn't. But I really should have. If I would have known that, I probably should have.
Why was Steve not out there when we were out there?
Exactly, right? Steve. Now, I will say, we left the dinner. And before I could get back to playing video poker, I got a notification on my phone that my credit card was charged $430 for dinner.
Steve stole your credit card. What a move.
So that took about a week for me. And I had to call Wynn and say, like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, we charged the wrong card. Sorry. They said someone will call you tomorrow to figure it out. And then the following day, it just got reversed. But no one called me to apologize or anything like that. So, this is going to be probably one of the only times that, we'll talk about how the service was not spectacular at Wynn.
So you gave them your card to pay, and then it later came out that Steve had paid, or how did they even charge you?
When I made the reservation, you have to put a credit card down.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Very good.
And so I guess what happened was Steve called and said, hey, I want to buy my buddy's birthday dinner. They said, oh, great, give us your credit card. And they did, but they still had mine on there. And so they charged mine and not his.
Yeah, very well.
So either way, thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve, so much. We'll send you the Patreon link soon.
They've got those custom Fiji water bottle holders at SW, don't they? Those little silver. I want one for my office. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my contribution to this conversation.
I love it. After dinner, I was waiting for Vegas Duffy and Mark Duvall to come over because the plan was we were going to play some craps. And of course, I just went to the high limit room at Wynn to play some 3-line 9-6 double bonus dollars. And I got 4 threes with a kicker and another 4 threes.
Jeez.
And won $1,200. And so I was up about $1,500 on the day now, taking into account the money I had lost in the morning at M Resort and then between Palazzo High Limit and Wynn High Limit. And I was like, great, I'm up $1,500. Josh and Mark show up. We decide we're going to go play craps. We find a $25 craps table. It did not go well, but I played for a good amount of time. There's no real stories to tell other than Josh shows up. Actually, Mark and I started at 25. They bumped it to 50. By the time Josh got there, it was a $50 table, which is fine for Duffy's play. But he only brought like a total of like $1,700 with him. And he's like, I don't have any other cash. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't know how long a $50 is at a $50 table that's going to last. And the first like 3 shooters like almost wiped him out completely. And then Mark had like an amazing roll for someone who was either A, playing come bets, or B, was playing 5 and 9 because he hit like 5, 5, 9, 9, 5, 5, 9, 9. And so both of them just won like all the money they had lost back, plus some.
And you were playing the evens?
And I was playing the even numbers. So I still won on the roll. I think he hit like 3 points. I still won. But like I'm sitting there and I don't think I was playing scared. I had gone in with a plan. The plan was I cashed in for $2,500. I said, look, if I lose all of this, I'm down $1,000 on the day, and that's amazing for my birthday, and I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I don't want to change up my play. And if the point is a 4, a 6, 8, or 10, I'm going to play the even numbers. That's just how I play. So I'm not like sitting there being like, gosh darn it. I'm just sitting there being like, well, that's how it's falling. Good for them. And I kind of wish I was on it. But yeah, so I ended up buying in, like I said, for $2,500. And then about halfway through, like we've been playing for an hour and a half. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to lose more than $1,500 now because I'm floating around even, which will make me even for the day. So I kind of put $1,000 to the side and just played with the rest of it. I was doing 2 times odds and even numbers. So nothing too extravagant. And maybe, I think it was a losing session at the end of the day for both Mark and Josh. So maybe it's good that I was not just trying to be like, I have so much money, let's go ahead and play real hard. Because then, I limited my losses. At this point, the second weekend crew starts to show up. And the first group of friends that show up, they're from high school. So they're high school buddies. They're the ones that come every year for this March Madness trip.
Nice.
And, I had to keep reminding myself the second weekend that I had been there for a week. And these people are like just getting to Vegas. And especially my high school, this is their only trip of the year. So they land in Vegas at like noon on Wednesday, and they are hammered by 9:30 p.m. when they find me.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy Justin is just like, I'm down $2,000, blah, blah, just like loud and obnoxious. And he's like, what's this? And I'm like, it's a $50 table. He cashes in for $1,500. He's like, bro, whatever, I'm going to play. So he ends up standing next to me, which is fine. I want to see him. But he like stands between me and Mark and Josh.
And no one gets between.
No one gets between the podcasters. No. And so like, I started to get a little bit annoyed because he was drunk. So I had to be like, he's a craps player, but he's not like a fast crap. Like he doesn't know exactly what to do. So like every now and then he's like putting his chips out a little later than like, I'd want to, or he would like just throw $5. Like at one point he threw a $5 in and said, fire bet, please. And I'm like, there's no fire bet at this table. Like, what are you doing?
I kind of like that.
And so I think what made me upset was that he started just winning big. like when he got there, the roll that went, he put 50 across on everything, and just everything started hitting. And I'm like, damn it, you are drunk and you don't know what you're doing. You win all this money. But it was fine. So I was talking to Kim about it. I'm like, I don't know if this made it less fun because, in my head, I was like, hey, I get to see Mark Duvall like maybe once, twice a year, Josh like 2 or 3 times a year. And so my plan for Wednesday night was like, I'm going to play craps with them. And it ended up me kind of being a little separated from them. It was still a good time, but I think I could have had more fun if I would have just been like, hey, Justin, stand on this side of me so that way I can, hang out with my other friends too.
Does he listen to the pod?
There's no way he'll listen to the pod.
No longer
There's no way.
The pod.
There's no way. I don't even think they know I have a podcast.
Enemy of the pod, Justin.
It's like, who are these two assholes next to you?
Enemy of the pod, for sure. I will say, and so you can hear this on both You Can Bet on That and Crap Vegas, is listener of their pod, Jeremy, showed up and was talking to them and kept betting hard ways for the two of them. And I wanted to make some side remark like, oh, maybe if you start listening to my pod, you'll bet a hard way for me too. But I did not say that. I did say that. But it was really nice of Anishab. He's a nice guy too. I met him. But at one point he's like, did
you let him know it was your birthday?
I should have.
That's a big theme.
My birthday, Jeremy. Come on. So
hard way birthday.
I ended up going to bed that night.
Good.
Exactly even.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Yes. I ended up going to bed. Exactly even. So.
Oh, nice.
So pretty good, like through my birthday. And I was like, I just want to make sure I make it to Rampart with money. Like I didn't want to lose it all back. And I was basically up a couple grand, even more than when I left Cosmo. So it was awesome. So Thursday morning, wake up, do the work, did not gamble at Wynn at all. Ended up taking, again, the best, the most popular route ever, which is an Uber from Wynn to Rampart. Another issue with the room, I'm turning into Adam, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Get there. I had a tutoring meeting at 3 p.m. Got there at like 1 and was like, I was hoping I can get in early. I asked my host to put a request in. They're like, oh yeah, we see the request, but it's just not ready yet. Sorry. It's like, all right. So we ate lunch and then I went back and I'm like, hey, is the room ready? They're like, no, but there's a business center over there. So I was like, all right, I'll just go to the business center. And then the manager came out and was like, hey, we have you slotted for a renovated 2-bedroom suite. The unrenovated 2-bedroom suite is ready. Do you want it? And I looked at Kim and and I asked her, I said, what's the difference? Like how it's like, well, it's really just
how
updated.
renovated.
How renovated, right?
Yeah. We put a new phone in.
Right. She's like, it's the exact same layout. It's just newer furniture. She's like, if you go up there and you don't like it, we can move you tomorrow. And I'm like, well, I don't think we're going to unpack for 4 days and then pack up and move. So I'm like, yeah, let's just take it so that we can get in there. And the room is fine. You could definitely tell that it was dated. I'd be excited to see what the renovated room is. I mean, it is a 2-bedroom, like full suite. Like it is huge, like a wraparound balcony. And it was where we ended up having all of our friends come and hang out. So super, super awesome. I want to talk a little bit about Rampart and some updates that they've done in the last year. So people have asked me on Twitter a lot, like, what about Rampart? So
yeah, you're like their ambassador.
I'm their ambassador. They should send me. And now it's not even called the Rampart anymore. It's the resort at Summerlin. They're trying to change. I think it's because they've had some bad press, right? Not bad press, just, people are like, oh, the Rampart, such a local kind of low.
Yeah, it feels locally and divey.
Right,
like you gotta spruce it up.
It is now the resort at Summerlin.
I like it.
They have a whole new kind of food area where there's an oyster bar that we ended up eating at one night. They have a brand new high limit room with a bar top video poker and high limit slots at their sports book. So Caesars took over the sports book and they put in a bar of video poker. There's 6 terminals, but it's not like there's no bartender or anything. It's just lifted. It's like lifted up towards the back of the sports book. So if you're sitting there and you're above everyone else who's sitting down at the sports book and you can see all the TVs in front of you.
That's awesome.
I spent so many hours there. So many hours.
They have drink service there though?
Then they drink service. And they were just coming by asking for drinks. Like they weren't,
they're asking you for drinks?
They're asking
That's
what
the
drinks
opposite
you
of what I
wanted.
thought. Okay.
They were asking like, hey, you want drinks? And so there were multiple times I had friends just standing next to me, like not playing or sitting down, not playing, and they were getting free drinks too. So I don't know if that's just a normal thing or if it was because it was March Madness and it was packed. But yeah, they had someone coming around giving drinks. Played a ton before the 3 of us hopped on a Zoom call. So that was the night that we recorded. I was in the Rampart.
Oh,
room.
yeah.
It's podcastception now.
Podcastception, it is.
Wow.
Exactly. I ended up down at the end of that day. So that's Thursday, March 19th. I'm down 1,100 that day. And so I'm about 8,500 up on the trip after being up probably close to 12,000 was my high water mark. So I'm starting to lose a little bit, but I'm not feeling like, oh man, I'm feeling great, obviously. One small thing is that night I went to that high limit bar and I realized they have dollar single line and it's a progressive. And the progressive was almost to $5,000 instead of the $4,000. So I was like, oh, let's play that for a little while. Just having some drinks with Steve. So Steve had showed up at this point, friend of the pod, Steve, buying me dinner. Steve has showed up by that point. And I'm just kind of playing with him with the one line. We're going back and forth. We're chatting. And I got dealt 4 aces with the kicker.
Oh my God.
However, I was playing 8-5 bonus poker. So it was only $400. But it's still, I know,
was the progressive only at the bonus poker, or did you just switch to bonus poker because you're like, hey, if I'm chasing the royal, it doesn't matter what else I'm playing? Okay.
Yes. So it was 8-5. So it was 8-5 bonus with the progressive. And I was like, this is a great game. I'm going to just play this and try to chase this royal. So I was playing really fast, faster than usual, and just trying to chase the royal. Whoa. I was like, damn it. So yeah, only a couple more days left. Friday, a bunch of my friends were getting in that day. We had plans to go to the strip at night on Friday, but 2 of my buddies from PA, they kept getting their flight delayed. So they didn't land till about 9 p.m.
Worst.
At this point, we had pretty much made all of our students meet earlier in the week. So maybe Kim and I had a couple hours of work, but not a lot. So there's not a lot of report from this day during the day, except for I spent pretty much the entire day at the sports book playing video poker, drinking beers, and watching March Madness.
So here's a question for you. How easy do you find it to watch sports and play video poker at the same time? Because I've played at that kind of overhang at Circa, and I find that the video poker takes a lot of precedence, even if it's like my Minnesota Vikings on the TV.
Yeah, I am not like super into any of these games, so I'm passively watching the games, but playing video poker mainly, except for like if the game's starting to get close. And of course, like I've been playing video poker for 18 years now, I feel like at this point on this trip. So it was okay to take some breaks every now and then. But honestly, it was kind of playing and then just listening to if there's a big roar, I would look up and then kind of be like, oh yeah, that's what happened. And I wasn't betting a lot of sports. I don't like to bet sports that much. I had, Steve's a Villanova fan. So I put like $100 in Villanova winning. They lost.
Thanks, Steve.
Friend of the pod, Dan. He's a Missouri fan, right? I put $100 to bet with Dan. Missouri lost. So like I really should have just been going against my friends, but I didn't put that many sports bets on it.
So for March Madness, there's a lot of games that go on kind of simultaneously. Is there like generally a main game that the sportsbook has like the sound on for?
Yeah. So they had 2 main screens and then a bunch of like smaller screens. And what they would do is they would have the main audio on whatever the best game is they would consider at that point. And then when that was on commercial, they would quickly switch it to whatever the other main game was. Yeah. So they were really on top of it. I really liked it. It was really nice. I was going back and forth between Ultimate X quarters and $3 line this entire weekend, just like I kind of was at M. I seem to never get anything going at Ultimate X. Like I'd lose $500 to $1,000 ultimate X, and I'd be like, fine, I'll go back to a single line, and then I would hit a couple 4 of a kinds and be back up. Like that's really what it felt like the whole weekend. And so I was kind of staying afloat. Steve is to my left, and I'm playing. I think it was Steve. I can't remember now because it was just so exciting because I was dealt for.
Someone's to your left.
Someone is to my left because I remember that.
Okay.
Steve,
like we're in the room.
It's got to be Steve. If it's not Steve, who cares? Sorry, Steve. I'm dealt 4 to the Royal diamonds, 3-line dollars, and I'd been dealt 4 to the Royal a couple times, and nothing has hit. And the first line, the 4 of diamonds hits, which like kind of looks like the ace of diamonds, which is what I need. And I go, fuck. Second line, ace of diamonds for the Royal, and I go, yes.
My God.
And then the third line, I get like the 3 of diamonds, which is awesome. I got all the flushes, but I got that Royal for 4,000 in the middle. And I know I sent you guys the photo, and I think Jack, you said at first glance, you were like, "Oh my God, is this a Dealt Royal?"
It did look like a Dealt Royal at first glance. Yeah.
But that was awesome. I can't believe I had hit a second Royal of the trip.
And your fourth $4,000 hand pay of the trip?
Well, one of them was $3,600. Let's not get.
Take easy.
No, because you had 3 on the last trip report.
It was
right.
No, I had 2 4,000 on the last trip report, right?
Okay.
No, you're right. It was my third one. Yeah, sorry. This is my
He's so used to him, he just miscounts. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot because my Royal was 4,000. Yeah, you're right. This is the fourth $4,000 handy, and I had a $3,600 hand pay.
Steve should not have paid for dinner at SW.
No, I told him not to. I was like, you totally shouldn't have. We ended up grabbing dinner at that oyster bar. Like I said, it was really good. Just hung out the high limit bar. Nothing really big to report after that. My buddies came in, Dave and Drew, super great pals here in State College. I see them all the time, but it was really awesome to see them elsewhere. Ended up that night, I'm not going to give a big report on it, but ended up going to Sapphire, the gentleman's club.
Oh, that was the library.
That was right. Had a good time. Just a couple really like small little funny stories. We get there and we called them and said, hey, we've got 6 people coming. They sent us, a card. They're like, oh, you get in for free, but you have to buy X number of drinks, and they're on sale for $20. Yeah. But so there was
good things about the food at Sapphire.
Yeah,
I actually have 2, which is weird. Yes.
We get there and they're like, okay, you can buy as many drink tickets as you want. They're $20 a drink, which like whatever, getting in for free. That's not the worst thing I've ever heard of.
Like you can spend as much as you want. Feel free. Like what does that even mean?
Well,
like,
we thought it was like a 2 drink minimum per person. There's 5 of us, so my buddy Dave's just like, hey, let's just buy 10 of them, $200. I'll swipe my card. Our friend Brian's like, hopefully it doesn't come up as strip club. And Dave's just like, are you like, I don't care. Like my wife knows I'm here. Like, I don't care what it comes up with my credit card as. But it was just kind of funny. And then the person behind the cashier was like, well, this is what it will show up as. And it's like Sapphire Day Club. Yeah.
Good on them.
It says Day Club, but it'll show like 10:30 p.m. was when it was ran. So
it was a long day.
I only spent like $300 total while I was there and hung out with some good friends, had some drinks, and then went home. So it's pretty good.
I have no comments.
Well, so speaking of the strip club, was this also the night you said you had planned to go to the strip?
Yeah, so we were supposed to go to the strip, but because they weren't getting into late, went to the strip club instead. Yeah.
I can see getting confused.
Can be confusing.
Leave the jokes for the second episode. Yeah,
I can totally get there. So I wake up on Saturday. I'm up 12,000. I'm up like 11,800. I'm like, oh my God, can I make it 11 days with a winning trip? And on Saturday,
are you about to gamble and lose like $11,000
the
next day?
I don't know. Like you've seen how much I play at times. Yeah. I don't think I will. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a winning trip. Spent some time at the pool. We got a cabana, and I'll say it up front. The host ended up taking care of everything. The dinner, cabana, like it was great. Like Kelsey's awesome there at Rampart. However, I didn't stay long. I stayed maybe at the pool for an hour, and I was like, fuck this. Like, I got to get inside and start playing some video poker. I was starting to shake. So that was also the day that they had a blackjack tournament. So part of the reason we also go out there is we get all invited into this, free blackjack tournament. It's $25,000 first place prize, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's like 150 people who play in this first day. So the way this blackjack tournament is, everyone who's invited guests only, they play on the first day, which is Saturday. You play 2 rounds, 18 hands each. So you get to play 36 hands. You start with $2,000 in chips. In the first round, if you bust out, you don't have any, and then you get to play a second round, and then your aggregate chips from the 2 rounds then go into a big list, and I think the top 24 move on to the second day, and then it's head to head.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. And so we know from the past that you need probably about 4,000, 4,500 to move on to the second day, depending like how many people are there. First round, our table gets just wiped out. Like the dealers just on fire. I think maybe 2 of the 6 people at our table don't bust out in the 18 hands. And there's a maximum of $500 you can bet a hand and a minimum of $25. And, there's different strategies you could do. So the second time, now I only have, did I say you start with 2,000 each round?
Mm-hmm.
You only start with 1,000 each round. Sorry, 2,000 total. So now I have $1,000 and I'm like, I need to get this $1,000 up to like 4 in order to even have a chance.
You should
like
play
right from the beginning,
3-line dollar.
Exactly. That's what I should do.
That's an easy way to get a quick 4,000.
So we end up going on a little bit of a heater, and I'm up to like 3,500. I'm up to like 3,500, and there's 2 hands left. So I'm like, all right, if I win both these hands, I might have a chance. Put 500 up. I get some double down hand, or like something you can double down on, like because your strategy changes a lot. And I do, and I end up losing it. So now I'm like down to whatever, 25 or somewhere in that area, in that range, maybe give or take a couple hundred.
Just like double whatever you get.
Correct. Last hand of this first day, I get 16. Dealer has a face card showing. My only chance of even have a sliver of hope is if I double down. I double down, get a 5 for 21, and win the hand when the dealer draws 20 or pulls up 20. So I'm like, ooh, I have a chance. Later on that night, you have to go back in to see what the final thing is. We get there, they read all the names off, and like the second to last one, James Tierney. And me and my buddy high five.
And the whole place goes crazy.
Right. My buddy Brian was at like 46. I ended up being, I think, at 38. And my buddy Brian was at like 46 or 48. His name was a little higher, so he's definitely in. We're like, great, this is awesome, wonderful. I start to walk up there, and they say, hold on a second. And then they're like, sorry, we have to redo this. They reread the names. My name's not on the list.
Oh, no.
They had forgot to add like the last round or something in for some people. So I ended up missing by like, less than 1,000 chips to do it, which like, whatever. I was a little annoyed, but also I've played that tournament like the last 5-6 years. And if you go far, like it's awesome. Like you might win, 500 in free play, or if you get all the way to the top, a $10,000 cash is a top prize, right? Out of the 25,000 total.
And this was free to enter because it was invite only. Okay.
Yeah, it's invite. But it does take up your entire day on Sunday if you're playing. So, I wasn't like super sad, but it was just annoying that I was called, and then they're like, no, just kidding. So that night we had a big dinner at the Rampart Steakhouse. 15 people.
Nice.
And so 15 people, the service was great. We ordered a bunch of stuff, had a filet, shocker, and it was delicious, had a bunch of sides. Kim and I split some stuff. We had some wine. Spectacular. What we ended up doing was we took all 15 people and we just said, hey, can you split this and can you put it on 4 rooms? And so we had the 4 like people who were playing the most, and we just put it on all 4 of their rooms. Our host is all the same, and we're just like, let's see if they comp it. And they ended up taking it all off, which was awesome.
That's
so
cool.
These other people that were with us ended up getting to eat dinner for free.
Good strategy.
So I was trying to do that and see, what it was. And it ended up being not a lot, really, when you thought about it. It ended up being like $450 on each person's tab. So
$1,800 for 15 people,
yeah,
kinda,
1,800
so.
and maybe a little more than that. Yeah, I think it was somewhere around there. So one thing that did happen before dinner, the only video poker thing that happened good that day, I can't believe it. I wasn't getting a lot of luck. Could you believe it? I got dealt the straight flush 9 through king.
Ooh.
So 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, which is the only time that you don't keep just the 4 to the Royal.
Yep.
Right.
And the thing I always tell people is that 4 to a Royal is worth about 100 credits if you're playing max bet. So you bet 5, your expected value is about 100. Whereas a straight flush pays 250 credits. So it's not particularly close. You just keep the straight flush.
But God, I wanted to throw away the 9. At that point, I was like up 1,000, I think, but I ended up down about $1,000 on that day, which again was awesome because I woke up like 12. So I'm still like up 11,000 going into the last day. Because we didn't go to the strip on Friday night, we only went to the strip club on Friday night. We did go to the strip that night. My buddy Drew had never been to Vegas. So I'm like, well, we gotta go to the strip and just walk it.
Yeah.
So we got dropped off at MGM and then walked the strip down to about the Link Promenade. One thing that was a little annoying is we got dropped off at MGM. I have all these MGM points. I don't know if I've said this before, but Adam made me get this credit card and I have all these MGM points. So I go to one of those little beer like kiosks. I'm just like, everyone grab a beer. So everyone grabs a beer and there's, I think 6 of us walking the strip and he's like, oh, we don't take points here. And I was like, okay. I was like, everyone
put your beer back.
That's what I did. I was such a fucking cheap ass. I was like, put the beers back. And then we just walked 3 feet over to the bar.
Oh, I was joking, but
no, dead serious. Dead ass, I think is what the kids say these days. They put their beers back. We just walked 5 feet to the left where there's an actual bar. And the bartender's like, what can I get you? And I was like, you guys take MGM points? Like, oh, absolutely. I was like, perfect. So we just all order drinks there. Nice. And then I give them a card. They take the points off. It was wonderful.
Well, see, earlier Adam was willing and able to pick up a tab at Chandelier Bar without using points, just with cash. But
I don't know why he would do that.
Yeah.
But got to use those
Big
points.
mistake.
Yeah. And so we walked from MGM down to Link before we're like, that's enough walking. However, I did the stupid thing is like, well, we're at the Link Promenade. There's got to be an Uber pickup here. Let's just get the Uber now. I don't know if you've been there. Have you been to the Uber pickup near Link Promenade?
No, but
no,
don't.
Oh, it's like the side, right? It's like in the a weird area,
way back.
Yeah,
like
it's like an alley.
Yes, it's an alley, and it was packed, and it smelled, and it was exactly what you think.
I forgot. It smells terrible back there.
It's exactly what you think would be the Uber pickup at Link. Like that's exactly what it was. I should have just kept walking. I said this as soon as we got there, I was like, damn it. I know we should have just walked a little further, could have went to Venetian, would have been a great experience, but no. So my tip is don't get the Uber from Link Promenade. And so I go to bed that night, wake up on the last day of the trip, folks. My good friend Eric, who works at UNLV, invited me out to breakfast at Green Valley Ranch.
Wow, on the other side of town. Yeah.
Other side of town, all the way to the other side of town. It was a really nice place, but I don't see myself ever going out of the way to go there. Like, I don't know why I would ever go out there. Now, I say that as someone who's going to be like, I'm going to go to Rampart probably twice a year. But this is where I really started thinking about, Rampart's going to be my off-strip casino for the times that I want to stay off-strip. Like, no offense to M, but Rampart is just so much nicer. Like, they put a lot of money into it. The JW Marriott rooms are super nice. They have the new high-limit video poker bar. The sports book, like I said, has those elevated seats. They have wonderful pay tables. I have a host there that's like, my play is going to not turn heads, but like people, like they're going to be appreciative of me there. Whereas, yes, it's great because I'm getting free rooms at Cosmo or Venetian Palazzo. But when I went to Rampart, my offer was $500 in free play every day I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Which
you get
every
daily
day.
Free play on your
daily,
offer?
and it was 3 days. It was 3 days. It was $1,500 split up over 3 days. And if I really wanted to, I probably could have gotten at least a good chunk of that in promotional chips where they don't take it when you lose, which makes it really valuable. Now, because I play, like my other friends who play more blackjack, their offers were lower, like $300 a day, and they were getting chips, and I was getting $500 a day because I play video poker.
And it's worth, but it's as long as the chips are played or you lose, it's worth about the same slot credit, right? Because you stick that in a video poker machine, you're getting about the same return as a table game.
Yeah,
so it's not.
And so it wasn't exactly. And I just played that on video poker, which was great. So I'm just very impressed, and I do think that people, including the two of you, need to get out there sometime within the next few years and just check it out. I know you're never
now that
going
it's
to,
the resort at Summerlin, I might check it out.
Might check it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that day, guess what? Played a lot of video poker. Was not doing well to start. My first picture of the day is at 11 a.m. and I'm probably down 1,000 or more than that. And I'm like, whatever, it's my last day. I'm not going to do the thing. Bam, royal flush. I was dealt three to the royal. I was playing 3-line Ultimate X, 25 cents. Had a 2X, $2,000 hand pay royal. So my third royal of the trip, and only one of them was with dealt 4. Like, so I got one when I was dealt 2, when I was dealt 3, and I was dealt 4.
And a 4 banger. Wow.
Yeah, so it was really good. And I basically all day just kept fluctuating between up 1,000, down 1,000. You know, maybe I'd hit 4 aces for 800, then I'd lose 1,000. Like, it was just really up and down. After that, we went downtown Vegas because, again, like I said, Drew's never been, so I was like, let's go downtown. Didn't do really anything down there besides just start at El Cortez and walk all the way down one way, stop in a couple casinos, watch a little bit of basketball in Circa. I had $45
what was Circa like on that Sunday. Was it just crazy?
It wasn't like super crazy like I think it is the round 1, but it was pretty busy and it was exciting to be in there. I had randomly $45 in slot play that I ended up playing through and $25 in food credit. So we like got some snacks and Kim actually had like 20 and 22. So we're like, oh, we'll take advantage of this while we can, because who knows if I'm ever going to kind of go back down there. Went back to Rampart, played a little bit before we ended up having the buffet for dinner, which was not great, but like whatever. It was somewhere where they could sit 10 people. We had 10 people still there. So we had it. And then we packed and went to the airport. There was no line at all. Everyone was scared, right? It's like, gotta get there 4 hours early. TSA. There was no line there. So we had an hour to kill. And I lost $100 at slots at the airport. Because I couldn't.
Nice party gift.
Yeah,
I was going to ask just kind of more generally, like a handful of times on the trip, you're like, oh yeah, we maybe did 100, 200 in slots here or there. Kind of like, what is the impetus for you kind of switching to slots or taking a break to play slots? Like, when does that come up?
Usually it's because of free play, or we're waiting for a table. Let's say it's like, oh, you'll be seated in 20 minutes. And I'll wait. Oh, there's a hot pot. Let's play that. Like when we were downtown, when we went into the D, went to Circa, I'd just like put $100 bill into like a hot pot game or a, you know, maybe a Dragon Link. But usually I get really, I've never been able to like sit at a slot and just play a single slot for a very long time. Even if I'm winning, I'm just like, I'm very quick to find a point where I'm going to like, okay, if I'm up 100 or I'm down 100, I'm leaving. Or if like, okay, I make it to $600. If I get less than 5, I'm cashing out. Whereas like video
like a
poker,
bonus or something.
Yeah. Like, oh, I get a bonus, I'm going to leave. With video poker, I'm like, I'm here. I'm going to be here for 4 hours. Like,
that's the way to be.
So that's the way to be.
But now, what everyone's been waiting for. Did you somehow manage to leave a winner on this trip? It sounds like you might have.
I did. It was a little over 11,000 in gambling profits.
Jesus.
I ended up coming home with about $10,000 more cash than I left with. So I spent probably $1,000 overall over that entire week, either through tips at Sapphire, like I said, was $300. But there was just a lot of times that because I felt like I am winning. And so lots of times if we're at a bar, I'm giving the tip or I'm buying around with it. So it was really great. I reached the second tier. So at Rampart, I pretty much exclusively played video poker. I played one session of craps that I won $35 at. Everything else was video poker at Rampart. It is $2 of coin in per 1 point, and I had 53,775 points.
So you did like 106,000 in coin in?
Correct. Yeah.
What is the second tier?
How long were you at Rampart?
I got to Rampart on Thursday afternoon and left Sunday night.
And so what does the second tier get you?
You did about 25,000 coin in a day, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. That seems like it's okay.
Well, James, what is the second tier?
What does the second tier get me?
What does the second tier get you by chance? We're all wondering.
It's a different color of my card. It does get me $5 off the buffet. And I believe there's a couple other really small things. But if I go for a second weekend, then maybe I can get to the third tier, which I believe the third tier gets me $10 off the buffet.
I'm glad I asked.
Maybe in the show notes, you can post a link to the rewards program at the resort of Summerlin.
That actually seems pretty unlikely for me to do. But
yeah.
I'm usually pretty good about just putting stuff in the show notes that James.
What an
tells me
endorsement!
This
of
one
their
is
rewards program.
This one might not make it.
But yeah, so that's the trip report. I know we're slightly over an hour, and I apologize for all of the fans who listened to hour 2 and then came to hour 1. But I thought it was a great trip. Obviously, I'm still just like pumped. And a lot of people are saying you go to Vegas for 11 days. There's no way when you're on that flight back, you're thinking, man, I can't wait to get back to Vegas. But I tell you what, when you win, you're thinking about when's the next time you're getting back to Vegas. So I'm excited to get back out there. I will not be back out there until the very end of May. So I've got a couple months to build the bankroll even higher than it currently is. And I'm super excited to get back out there. So that's the trip report. That's the 40th birthday. I'm now 40. I'm a man. Let's go.
Congrats. Now you can do your own laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we could have just cut it there, but I'm obligated to do our outro, which is me saying that was a fantastic trip report from Table Games James. Adam the Fraud was there as well. I'm Boring Jack. And we will see you guys in hour 2, where we'll talk about some listener questions and feedback and probably nothing else. See you then.
Okay, bye.
Take care.